New era, lots of moolah.
On the plot Malaysia.
Hello, welcome to the plot Malaysia. This is our 88th episode. This is the show for the fans.
By the fans.
Woohoo! Woohoo! My goodness, we thought international break, nothing to talk about, and then boom!
Chill, gonna have nothing much to do.
Yeah, and then kaboom, kaboom. We now are going to talk about the richest club in the world.
Hey, which one? Man City, bro, this one. PSG.
Man City, PSG, small, tiny peanut, lah, bro. Peanut. Nothing. We're going to talk about the castle in London. No, not in London, sorry. The castle on Tyneside. It's called Newcastle.
Oh!
Newcastle United. Yeah, the richest club in the world. And guess what, people? It's not just me and Hurry. Yeah, we've got a couple of Newcastle United fans joining us today. And I'm going to introduce the first person. Well, his name is Gary George. He is the committee member of the Toon Army Malaysia. So let's welcome Gary George, our first
Hi guys, good evening. Hello, good to be here at the plot Malaysia.
Awesome, Gary. It's a privilege to have you here, man. Talking about Newcastle.
Thank you for having us.
No problem at all. Definitely, it's going to be so much of fun. I can't wait, to discuss this topic. And of course, Gary, alongside you, there will be somebody else joining you as well. Another Newcastle United fan.
Hey, there's more than one in Malaysia, bro.
Yeah, I just realized. Fantastic stuff. Let's welcome our second guest on the show, Newcastle United fan, Mr. John Gunn.
Hey guys.
Hey,
thanks for having me on the show.
Most of course, a great pleasure having both of you on the show. John, we just realized that it's also your birthday today. Am I right?
Yes, it is.
So before we go any further,
let's sing a birthday song for John. Hey, Gary, join us. All right, join us.
Definitely.
1, 2, 3.
Happy birthday
to
you.
Happy
birthday to
you.
Happy birthday to John. Happy birthday to you.
Best birthday present ever. Yeah.
That's what I was about to say, man. Now we're going to talk about the best birthday gift ever.
Yes, exactly. Earlier John was telling us he was hungover the night before, and then he woke up, boom. And this happened. So what a way to get rid of your
What
hangover,
happened? Tell us what happened, my friend.
Tell us, John. Tell us.
Well, as you guys should know, actually all of this started about a year back, right before. I think it was during lockdown or just before lockdown, and the rumors started to come in that there will be a possible takeover by the Saudi investment group.
Yeah.
Basically, they are like the Khazanah of Saudi Arabia. They're the investment arm of Saudi Arabia.
Yep.
So, of course, being a Newcastle fan and 14 years under Mike Ashley, we were skeptical. We took it with a pinch of salt. I mean, we were excited, but it was also during the lockdown, the lockdown period, so we didn't really know what was going to happen. And then the news, I think it happened quite fast. It broke that the takeover was going to be announced soon. So we were all waiting. We got our beers all ready. We were just waiting for it to happen. And the days turned to weeks, and the weeks turned to months, and we were like, "Hey, what's going on?"
It was blocked. It was blocked, I think.
It was blocked because of the rights or something like that. Yeah.
So I mean, later on, we now know what was the whole issue, but it was just a year, exactly a year of waiting, and to finally get it over the line, man, it was just such a relief.
This is amazing. Gary, do tell us, how you feel about
What
this.
were your
Yeah.
thoughts when it happened,
Yeah.
when it was announced? And I'm gonna
Yeah.
before Gary, before you tell us what happened when it was announced, guys, let's fill you in with a bit of information. So, what are we talking about? We're talking about Newcastle United having been taken over by Saudi Arabia Public Investment Fund, and their net worth is 320 billion, which is about 10 times more
A
than
trillion
Sheikh
ringgit
Mansour,
also.
than Man City. So 10 times more than Man City, and richer than all these owners put together, all the 10 richest owners put together. I was very interested to see Wolves owner in that list as well, which I didn't really know. But yeah, that was a bit of a interesting learning from my point of view as well. And then, of course, before Gary fills us in some more, so of course, Amanda Staveley was involved in the takeover as well. Takeover completed. Yep. But this was what was phenomenal to see. And, I'm never going to begrudge Newcastle fans this, because, any other club probably I'd have gone, oh my God, I'm a Liverpool fan, another oil-rich clubs, and they're going to buy success. But I'm not going to begrudge Newcastle this, because I actually like Newcastle as a club. I think they're a big club. They're a historical club.
Huge fan base.
Huge fan base. Also gone through a hell of a lot of shit. So if there's any club that I don't begrudge, is Newcastle fans having their day in the sun, put it that way. So look at the scenes, man, when the takeover was announced. I'm sure you guys wish you guys were there as well to enjoy it, but this was incredible scenes to see. So, Gary, now tell us how you felt, man. Were you like one of those guys? Were you ecstatic like one of those guys when it was announced?
I mean, I was very excited and all, but the night before, if you guys remember, on Thursday night, right? Thursday night, when it was all happening behind the scenes and everything, I was actually more skeptical rather than being optimistic, because I was thinking, here we go again, Mike Ashley. He's done this to us many a times, right? He's tricked us, he's conned us, he's deceived us, he's done anything to sell season tickets. So I thought this is just another one of his tricks, So I was not very excited about it. I was thinking, okay, all right, maybe another takeover, and then something will happen, and then he will say the usual, we couldn't get it over the line statement will come out, right? Yeah. So I woke up the next morning. I only got to know about the takeover being a success on Friday morning when I woke up. I was like, okay, finally it happened. So now I'm a believer. Now, okay, finally Mike Ashley is gone after 14 years. So I was really happy as well. Finally, yeah.
Wow.
Awesome,
I mean, I can only imagine, being there to actually witness this and, of course, experience this for yourselves. Now, of course, it looks like Newcastle could be, amongst the ranks in the top flight. So, there's so many questions we want to ask you, but hurry,
exactly.
Go ahead.
Lots,
you have in mind?
Lots to dig into about what's going to happen. But guys, I just want to give you guys a bit of background as well. So I know what you guys are feeling to a certain extent. Probably not as much, but to a certain extent, because I don't know if you guys know, but Liverpool went through something similar in 2010. We were run by Hicks and Gillette, who were tearing the club down. We were losing all our star players. They were stripping the club, asset stripping the club, and then we were going to administration. So we were much worse than Newcastle. No, we were days away from going into administration, which would have been the state that Derby County is in right now. It was literally 2 or 3 days, and then the board of directors had to outvote the owners 3-2 to get the takeover complete for FSG. And even then, there were court battles. It went to court. It went to court in the UK. It went to court in the US. Before finally, about 10 days later, it came through. And I remember as a fan being on this Liverpool forums at that point in time. I think the Twitter didn't even really exist then, but forum every day, literally in the office, about 7 hours on the forum, just trying to catch developments to see if we were going to administration or whether we were going to get saved and the takeover was going to be complete. So I know what that felt like. I know, and for days after that, I was just partying and having a good time. So I can just imagine what you guys are going through. I'm really happy for Newcastle fans in general. Before we get to takeover now, for the viewers we have here as well, I thought it'd be good if you get a bit of background about the two of you. So it just builds into the story a little bit as well. Maybe a bit of a quick background. How did you guys become Newcastle fans? Let's start with you, Gary.
Okay, sure, no problem. So it all started when I was about 8 or 9 years old. It was one Christmas, and my mom's brother, Uncle Tony, he's our family Santa Claus. So every year he gets us presents. Yep. So you can imagine that year Christmas present, the themes was football jerseys. and I got the one and
Oh.
only Newcastle jersey. And just to let you guys know, I was this close to becoming a Manchester United fan. Yeah, very, very close to be a Man United fan. Because I was a huge David Beckham fan. Yeah, I mean, I still am a huge David Beckham fan. So I was actually sad that Christmas because I didn't get a Man United jersey and I got a Newcastle
Oh.
jersey instead. I was sad. I was crying. But you know,
Okay.
it turned out to be a blessing in disguise, and the rest is history. With
Oh
supporting
wow!
them ever
So
since.
you got to thank Uncle Tony
Wow.
for this, lah.
Yes, definitely. Thank you,
Oh
Uncle Tony. We call
wow!
him Shin Mama.
Wow,
Yeah,
wow,
thank you.
wow.
Oh,
Awesome,
wow.
awesome. That's a good story, man.
That's a very good story.
Awesome. Yeah. So ever since then,
John-
once you put that jersey on, you're like, yeah, I'm going to stay Newcastle.
Yep.
Stall
The
listen a lot of
Newcastle, the Newcastle brown ale, you know, the Adidas one.
Yeah, yeah,
Brown,
yeah.
The one. Yep.
But fair play, man. That takes a lot of loyalty, man. The shit that you guys have gone through as well. I mean, the time that you guys have gone through, relegated, etc. So yeah, man, credit. That's a loyal supporter right there, guys. What about you, John? Tell us
John.
on your birthday.
My story is almost similar. I also actually started out watching football, and I was very, very close to supporting Man United.
Alamak, I lost
they were
two
the-
fans.
they-
Why was no one close to supporting Liverpool here?
Boda, Liverpool. Boda.
Because it was during 97, 98 at that time. I think
When United were
Man U
flying,
were
okay.
reaching. Yeah, United were playing some crazy football at that time.
Yeah.
And being in Malaysia before we had Astro and you know all these other broadcasters, the only Premier League football that you get on TV is like TV Dua or something like that.
Yep,
you know,
yep,
you have
Correct.
once in a while, and Man U were just popular, you know. So
Yeah.
But then I had a very close friend of mine. I need to give a shout out to him, Mr. Elvin Low. He
He's here. Good things
Yeah.
come to those who wait.
yeah, man.
Hey, Alvin.
he basically hey bro, this club, all right, very nice one. So you just follow me, we go watch the games, and like okay, why not? So and it just started like that, and it grew into something, you know. After supporting a club for 10 years, you sort of just get attached to it.
Yep.
And yeah, and I stayed on through thick and thin, and finally today I can say it was worth it lah.
Actually, even back then it was worth it, lah. But I'm sure now you're going to start seeing the fruits of it, lah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
And I don't know about you, man, but like I said, I mentioned earlier as well, there is a bit of a soft spot for Newcastle from my side.
Yeah, me too.
You know, and the reason for myself is because actually Liverpool and Newcastle have a lot of connections. You know, if you go back in the years, Kevin Keegan, Dalglish was your manager for a while. Dalglish as well. Obviously, the games we had, the best Premier League games in the history of in the Premier League era, 4-3s, all the 4-3s, Liverpool,
And
Newcastle.
Rafa Benitez was the manager.
Rafa Benitez, I was just about to say. I mean, both clubs love the guy, even though the rest of the clubs may hate him. But both Liverpool and Newcastle idolize Rafa Benitez. There have been some players crossover as well, I think, over the years. So yeah, man, soft spot. And I gotta be honest, the time when you were managed by Bobby Robson, man, you're probably one of the best teams to watch as a neutral at that time. I still remember that team damn well, man. I mean, Keegan was good. You had, Champions League at that time as well. But even like Keegan was good. You had like attacking football with Asprilla and Ginola, and I mean there were star players all over the pitch, lah. David Batty, I think, was there at that time. But I used to like that Bobby Robson team because it had a lot of flair. You guys were finishing in Champions League positions. Ram, you remember the team, man? It had Shearer, it had Alan Shearer, it had Craig Bellamy, it had one of my favorite players in the Premier League, and you ask me, Laurent Robert. One hell of a left foot the guy had.
Hell of a left foot, yeah, man.
And then it had on the right-hand side Norberto Solano, who's very one of the most underrated players in the league as well. I think that guy was. Of course, then you had the battle of Lee Boyer and Kieran Dyer, who forgets that when they had a punch-up on the pitch. So some really good memories from Newcastle. Yeah, see, Samson brought up a good point as well, man. Other connections, Michael Owen, not Liverpool.
Not to be proud of for us. But
didn't work out for you guys, I know.
Yeah.
But current player, John Joe Shelby.
Shelby.
Played for Liverpool. I think he's a classy player.
Don't forget Milner.
James Milner, oh my God.
Milner, oh my God, there's a lot.
Don't forget Acuna, yes. Don't forget Acuna from the time of Bobby Robson. Yes. Remember him, man.
I mean, for me, as a United fan,
I-
I love Newcastle United because we always tend to score lots of goals against Newcastle. For some reason,
Hey, Liverpool also, by
we
the way.
love.
Liverpool have had
Yeah.
some big wins there, man. Yeah, over the
Yeah,
years.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I will never forget Newcastle beating a United 5-0. Many
Oh,
many
yes.
years ago.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
that was one heartbreak for me. But I think I do respect Newcastle because, like I said, I do have a few friends back in Singapore back in the day when I was studying in Singapore. Few of them actually Newcastle fans, and I was a bit surprised. Like, what? Are you serious? Because it was dominated by United, Liverpool fans. And it's so nice to see that after all these years, this is happening to Newcastle, and it's going to be so exciting because it's not going to be dominated by Man City, anymore Chelsea and so on and so forth. I think now we have a new kid on the block, new team on the block, and it's going to be super super exciting. So Hari,
Talking about connections, man. Don't forget Craig Bellamy connection as well. Liverpool, Newcastle,
Yeah.
right? Craig Bellamy had 2 stints at Liverpool. I think your right back now is ex-Liverpool player as well, isn't it? What's his name?
Javier Manquillo.
Javier
For a while.
Manquillo.
Yeah, he was there for a while.
He played for Liverpool for a bit as well. So some great connections there, man. Ram, let's dig deeper into this takeover now, guys.
Yes.
So, all right, what's coming up? Now, I want to know from you guys, what do you anticipate in the next few months and the January transfer window? What are the next moves this ownership is going to make? What do you guys anticipate? We start with you, Gary.
Sure, no problem. First and foremost, I would like to see Steve Bruce go. Steve Bruce
I heard that's happening before this
has
weekend
got
itself.
to go.
It's getting an 8 million payout or something like that, right?
Something like that. How much money it needs to get him out of Newcastle, get him out of there. I don't think money is a problem for the current owners, right?
Yep.
So
Yep.
hopefully we get to see him go, because I was never a huge fan of Steve Bruce from the very start. Yes, a lot of
Yep.
people have said that he's a good manager and everything, but
I think he's a local boy as well, isn't it?
yeah, if he's a local boy, yeah, he is. But
Yeah.
why? He still managed Sunderland. Yeah, he
Yeah,
still
no
managed
point.
Sunderland.
The rival. Mhm.
And a lot of things like that. But then again, for me, Steve Bruce has just never cut it for me as a manager at Newcastle United. I've always thought he was a good championship level manager, but just not a
Yep.
Premier League manager. So first of all, Steve Bruce has got to go. And secondly, I would like to see all the Sports Direct signs, those horrible signs all over.
Every one of those signs
Take them
taken
down or paint grey or whatever, paint over them or something like that. Yeah? Get them off.
Now we'll be like Habibi.
Rumor has it Mike Ashley is interested in taking over Derby County now.
Derby
That's why I
County,
read the news.
exactly.
Yeah.
Good luck with that, Derby County
Good
fans.
luck
But
to
yeah,
them.
so that's the second thing. And the third thing is hopefully just invest in the training facilities. I'm not even going to talk about signing players like Mbappe, Haaland, and Champions League, because this is long way to go. We are very realistic. Being Newcastle fans, we are very realistic. We're not expecting to win the league in a season or two.
Yeah.
We're not expecting Champions League football. We just, like what the saying says, we don't demand a team that wins. We demand a club that tries. And to start with that, we need proper training facilities, proper youth academies, because a lot of youngsters right now from the region, from the northeast of England, are not staying back and playing football in Newcastle and around the region. They ended up in other parts of England. So proper youth academy, proper training facilities, and the rest will then follow. That's what I think. Over to you, John.
Yeah, I have the second Gary there. I believe right at this very moment, the consortium, together with the board, Amanda Stavely and also I think Al Ramayan is also joining in through Zoom or something. They will be speaking to Steve Bruce this afternoon, and I believe his fate is sealed.
Yeah, it's curtains down, right?
Before the weekend game against Spurs, he has to go. There's no other way. I mean, part of me there's a small part of me that feels sorry for him, because let's be honest, he came into a very, very tough position. He had to fill the shoes of Rafa Benitez, which I don't think many managers could have done.
And he kept you all up as well, isn't he? He kept you all quite
he
comfortably
kept
last
us
year
up
as well,
for 2 seasons. So fair play. But the results has just been not good enough. His win percentage, I think, is 28% over 700 over games. That's just you can't cut it lah. And further than that, the football has been atrocious. It's so unbearable to watch Steve Bruce football. I mean, I don't
call
know
it Bruce ball.
what the tactics are. Yeah, Bruce ball. We don't know what the tactic is. We don't know why he picks the players that he does, and yeah. So
Substitutions.
first thing, Bruce just has to go. And once that is done, bring in a good manager, one that can.
Let's sorry to interrupt you, but let's just throw this out there. Let's play fantasy
Yeah.
league a bit. Like,
Who's
both
next?
of you guys want Bruce out. Who would you guys want in as your manager? We've got to be realistic here. Like, who's available? Who can you lure at this point in time? Who would you guys ideally want as your manager now? Because you obviously, I think you're going to have a caretaker in Graham Jones, but you can't have that for too long. Trust me, it could lead you downhill. So you got to make an appointment pretty quickly. Who would you guys ideally like? Let's get both your opinion on this one.
I mean, looking at the ones that are available, you have Conte, we have Zidane.
Done.
I mean, these are the so-called popular ones, lah. And then if you're looking at other realistic choices, there is Eddie Howe. There has been rumors about Steven Gerrard, but I don't know whether that would be a possibility, whether he'll want to leave Rangers at this point of time in his career to come and take on such a big project.
I think he would, Steven Gerrard is the
Back
kind
in
of
the
guy
Premier
who
League,
would,
I think he would want to come back.
His dream is to manage Liverpool, and he knows he needs to manage in the Premier League before he can take over Liverpool in the future. So I think that could work actually. Yeah. Who else? Anyone else in mind?
Gary,
do you have anything in mind?
Yeah, Gary. Can you think of anyone?
Gary.
Anyone else?
I mean, for me, before the whole takeover was happened and everything, I've always wanted Eddie Howe. I've always thought that Eddie Howe was a kind of manager who could have done a good job at Newcastle, because he's clearly shown that he can work within a budget. And under Mike Ashley, managers don't get enough, a huge budget for transfers and everything. So I've always rated Eddie Howe, but looking at current situation post takeover, I would be happy with anyone else. I mean, of course, Steve Bruce will be gone, so I'm okay. There are a lot of rumors saying Antonio Conte and Zidane, like what Jonathan mentioned. But the thing is, I would probably just be happy with. I'll be even happy with Eddie Howe right now. But I would like to see Graham Jones be given a chance.
Can I throw a name out there? Throw a name out there, guys? Alvin's pointed this. I was about to say this as well. This guy is a guy you should go for.
Graham Potter. Wow.
I think he's top notch. He plays the right way. You want to see good football? This guy plays good football. He knows he can operate within a budget. I want your thoughts on this as well. But the feeling I have with Antonio Conte and Zidane, because of the profile of managers they might not want to come into that job right now, because they might want to go into a team that's already playing Champions League, or that has hope of playing Champions League next season. I don't think you're going to be there next year yet. You're not going to qualify for the Champions League at the end of the season. So that's the thing I have. Those guys are a bit too ambitious. They want the right here and now success. Whereas this guy, I think, would be a really good choice for actually building that team up. But what are your thoughts on Graham Potter, guys?
John, you want to go first, John?
Yeah, I think Graham Potter is a great choice. Look at what he's done at Brighton. I mean, they were supposed to be our relegation rivals, and they were last season. But this season, he has just completely turned the team around. They nearly could have gone on top of the league, right? I think before the international break. So, he's managed to sign players that suits his style of playing. On a very, very low budget. So these are the kind of managers that I think we should be looking at.
Awesome. I suppose the only other way is with Antonio Conte. If you pay them money, then you never know. If you pay them a lot of money, they may take the job.
But Hari, you might be surprised, there are some managers that you see out there that could really see this as a long-term project, and they really want to come and, go all guns blazing and try something new and try something, because they know if they were to come into a club in Newcastle now, they could be staying there for quite some time. So they could be having a more secured job in that say, because they won't have any pressure as to compare, when you go to a club like United and etc. and so on and so forth, right? They know if they come to Newcastle, the pressure is going to be less. They're going to get lots of money, right? players that they want would not be an issue, because you could see them buying players like, Mbappe, for example. In the future, you could see them buying all these big stars. They could be the next Galacticos, if you like, in the Premier League.
In a few
So
years, yeah, in a few years,
in a few
yeah.
years. So I think
But
having said that, you never know. Maybe I just have this feeling, guys. I don't know why. Sometimes when I do these shows, I just have this feeling, this psychic feeling that comes into my mind. So I just have a feeling maybe Zidane could end up in Newcastle. So that's what
I mean, Rafa is a good shot, but he's just taken the Everton job, so that's the only problem.
Yeah.
But I think he loves
Yeah.
Newcastle as well. The other thing with Rafa is his family is in Liverpool as well, so
Quite
he
settled
will
there.
probably he's quite settled there. So the thing, I mean, I get where you're coming from. The thing with Antonio Conte, especially, right? He strikes me as a manager who's for the year now, like 1-2 years, immediate success and leave. If you look at his career, his track record, even when he went to Inter Milan, the players he signed were people like Ashley Young, Alexis Sanchez, who were there for the here and now. They were not young players to develop. He's a kind of like your Jose Mourinho type, instant success. I don't think Newcastle is that. Newcastle is still a project, that's going to take a few years to build. So it's finding the right kind of manager. Brendan Rodgers could be a great shout, by the way, guys.
Brendan Rodgers.
I think that's a brilliant shout. Brendan Rodgers came into Liverpool, similar new ownership at that point in time. They were trying to bring young players through. He knows how to develop young players as well.
Won the FA Cup in Leicester last season. Absolutely brilliant as well. So good shout for a manager to come into Newcastle as well. So
I haven't heard this news. I don't know if you guys have, but Eugene has pointed this out. Talks that Ragnick could take over as director of football and try to convince Conte to Newcastle. I don't know about that, but Ragnick, by the way, guys, I don't know how much you know about. He's top class.
Yeah,
this guy as a manager, director of football, a lot of people speak highly about him.
Yep. It's going to be really, really crazy. It's going to be really, really. So I want to ask you guys, right? Gary, I have a question for you now. Of course, let's say now you are the new manager in Newcastle. Okay. Now, because this is really exciting, especially now you have got lots
Fantasy
of
football.
let's fantasize about it, right? I mean, I would want to be a manager.
January window coming up.
And I'm hoping that Newcastle's owners could find another friend, take over Glazers. Hopefully, okay. So, I just want to ask you. So now, let's say you've got, you've got 200 million on your plate, for example, now, right? Of course, I do know Newcastle fans are very realistic and so on and so forth. You're not going to buy all-star players and everyone there, but who could be your ideal first 11 for Newcastle if you could throw that money? Just share with us.
let's just say January. Say January. Exactly. You've got 200 million pounds to spend, which is a rumored number as well. Who would you guys like to see leave and come in? So maybe 3 players leave and 3 players come in. Let's just keep it simple. Let's go with John first. Your birthday, John. So I'm giving you first take on this.
John, you go first.
Okay, start with players to leave, right?
Yeah.
Okay. We start from strikers lah. I think Dwight Gale doesn't cut it out as a Premier League striker. I mean, he did well in the championship for us, but no. So my first choice would be Dwight Gale. Going into I really do wish we can get rid of Joelinton, but seeing how much we paid for him, I'm guessing he's going to stick around maybe just for another season. In the midfield, we have decent midfielders. It's just that I'm not too much a fan of Hendricks for some reason. I don't know, maybe because we got him on a free or for some reason, but I'm not a fan of Hendricks. If I was sell someone, I would sell him. And in defense, we just need to get new defenders. I mean,
okay, so let's now that you've played the players that you think you want to leave the club, if you had to pick 3 players to come in and replace them, let's say, or 3 ideal players for positions you feel that you need strengthening in, who would they be? And let's be realistic about it. I mean, you're not going to get Mbappe and Haaland, but let's realistic options.
I think this will be the tricky part. If you're talking about an attacker, one that I feel that he is quite realistic and I feel that will do good is Wilfred Zaha for some reason. I think if we can get Zaha in with Saint-Maximin together, that will cause havoc in any team's
I was just going to
defense.
say, man, why don't you sell Saint Maximin, man? I want him. I want Liverpool to get him so badly,
Sell
man.
United,
Sell
lah.
him.
We'll take him. We'll
Get
take him.
anyone else you want, but give us
I
Alan
think
Saint
Gary will
Maximin,
agree
man.
with me. He's the only player that we won't sell.
Yep,
Oh my
yep,
God,
unless it's a
man.
ridiculous
I was
offer,
just
yeah.
hoping this takeover didn't happen, because I want that guy, man. I think he's a baller.
I mean, saying his name itself sounds expensive, man. Alan Saint
Alan Saint
Maximin.
Maximin.
You know,
He's brilliant, man. He's
damn
brilliant.
cool, man. Damn cool.
So that's a great shout. I never thought of Zaha actually, but that's a brilliant shout. Someone that will come
Yeah.
in now. It's a step up for him as well. It's a great shout. Anyone else?
Yeah, in defense, maybe that Burnley guy, James Tarkowski.
Tarkowski.
I don't know how to pronounce
Tarkowski?
his
Take
name.
Maguire.
Yeah.
Take Maguire. Take it. But I sell you for £4.55. No problem. Take it.
Yeah, I think it's difficult to see which players are available. But one thing for sure, I know
Just
is
sign the
we
contract,
won't-
but if not, great shout. Son Heung-min, but just sign the contract.
Yeah, I don't think we will be going for those superstar players like you mentioned earlier. That although Kylian Mbappe is his contract is running out.
Yeah,
If
he's
he
not
doesn't
signing
sign
any
a new
contract yet,
contract.
right? So,
Yeah, so fingers crossed. Who knows?
What about in midfield? Anyone you think you could do in midfield? Because there have been rumors about Philippe Coutinho, by the way, guys. I know he's had a
Oh, yeah,
downward
yeah,
spiral, but he was still a class player when he was in the Premier League. Maybe he needs the right kind of manager, right kind of team. Would you take him?
I mean, if there was no one else, sure, why not? but I don't know. His form seems to have dropped drastically since he moved from Liverpool. He's just not the same player that he
No.
that he was, ever since he went to Barca. But speaking of Barcelona, yeah, the predicament that they are in, it might be a good opportunity for us to sort of like steal a
Take
few
from there.
players from there. Yeah.
The problem is I don't think they have any good players now.
Their striker is actually our previous Newcastle
Luke de Jong.
reject.
Luke de Jong, I know.
yeah.
Luke de Jong. That's how bad it is now. So
Yeah.
Yep.
Bro, I got one more suggestion, bro. Midfield, take Fred. giving, take.
Gary, what about you, man? Let us know who do you see? Who do you want to get rid of? I mean, probably want to get rid of a lot more, but maybe top 3 players you think get rid of, and 3 players you think you could take in January and would strengthen certain positions where you want to be strengthened. I'll throw a couple of options there before we hear your answer. But Martial, Van de Beek,
Van de Beek.
these guys in the market as well potentially. Let us know who you think, Gary. Maybe someone in the continent. Yeah.
I am hoping, first of all, like players that we can get rid of would be players like what Jonathan mentioned as well, Hendricks. Not a big fan of Hendricks in midfield. Don't know what he does. Don't know what he contributes to the team. And then even our defenders, I think Kraft. I've never rated Emil Kraft, our right back. He's a Swedish international, but for some reason, I don't see him, and I never rated him in Newcastle. Doesn't seem to impress me every time he comes on and plays for the team. So besides Hendricks and Kraft, another player, of course, is Dwight Gale. Because if we have a striker on the bench and not use him, what's the point, right? Might as well just sell him.
Yep.
At least a championship team could use his services and all that, and get some money in return because he's quite an old striker as well. Excuse me. To sell these 3 players. And to bring in, I think our defense needs an overhaul because our defense right now is leaking in lots of goals. Of course, down partly to Steve Bruce's tactics and all that. But because our defenders right now, most of them are also the same defenders we had when we were in the championship. If you look at Lascelles, like Clark, we had who else? Lascelles, Clark, we had Federico Fernandez as well. And I mean, some of these players we only signed them after the championship, but still, our defenders are aging. And we do not have a speedy defender. All our defenders are very, very slow. So that is one thing. If you notice, a lot of Premier League teams they identify that as one of our weaknesses, and they attack that, as in they know our speed at the back.
Can I ask one quick question? I was a big fan of that American defender you guys. I think DeAndre Yedlin. Is he still with you guys or?
I think we sold him all, right?
To Fenerbahce.
Yeah,
I thought
sold
he
him
was
off.
quite a good. I thought he was quite a good player. A lot of pace in him. That guy.
He was probably our fastest defender, but
Yep.
we sold him. Don't know why. Yeah, so these players, and to be replaced with, I've always rated Dayo Upamecano, the
Oh.
defender, French defender.
He's in
Munich.
Bayern Munich now. No, though.
Bayern
But he's
Munich,
just
yeah.
moved there. Yep.
Not sure if he will join us. And then Kalido Koulibaly in Napoli.
Yep. That's
He's
a good shout
defender.
actually. Good potential that
Yeah.
one. Yep.
And also, like you guys mentioned earlier, Coutinho, because I think he's not enjoying his time right now, and I
Yeah.
think he probably needs a fresh move to just reignite his creativity and spark, because he's always been a good player when he was at Liverpool.
Yep.
That's
I'm gonna
And
throw a
I
couple
really
of-
think.
Go ahead, Ram. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I really think this. I mean, of course, jokes aside, not Fred or Maguire. I don't think it's going to happen, right? But I think honestly, Van der Beek would really get his career back on track. If he actually goes to Newcastle, because I can see him
Goal
do
scoring
like
midfielder as well.
yeah, he's a goal scoring box to box player, very simple, typical Dutch total football player, and I think he would really shine in Newcastle. So
I think I was
really,
reading.
really
I was reading a article today about Van der Beek, and I didn't know this. He was actually on the short list for Ballon d'Or.
A couple of
few
seasons ago with
back.
Ajax, is it? Yeah.
Yeah.
He's quality for Ajax. Yeah.
Exactly. That's how us United fans, we are very sad because we paid so much for him. We know how good he is, but we're not using him. And I'm also very, very sad, that Ole trusted, I don't know, Fred and McTominay or McFred and McSauce.
Would you guys want Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as a manager?
Oh, please
No,
take
guys.
it.
No, thank you.
Actually, a couple of good shouts in the comments here. I'll throw this one out. As a Liverpool fan, I think Divock Origi is not a bad
Origi.
shout actually. He scores.
striker,
He's a big game player. Scored some big games for Liverpool. He just doesn't get enough minutes because of our front three, front four players. It could be a good signing for you. Got a bit of pace, scores goals, runs the
Lingard
channels
as well. I think even Lingard could do a good
Lingard.
job.
Jesse
Yeah,
Lingard.
Lingard.
Jesse Lingard.
But
What
rumor
about-
has it he said
guys,
that he wants to go
Adama
back to West
Traore?
Ham. Yeah.
This is a great shout. Maybe instead of Zaha, you go for Adama Traore, and then you have Adama and Saint-Maximin.
Adama Traore, for me, Adama Traore is like is Alan Saint-Maximin on steroids,
Yes.
Maybe
Literally on
everywhere.
steroids, like, yeah.
It's crazy.
Literally on
Man,
full of
steroids.
it.
Good shout, good shout. Yeah. What about players like from Wolves, like João Moutinho, this kind
You
of
mean
players?
Portugal B? You mean
Ruben
Portugal?
Neves. Portugal B, yes. Portugal B.
Yeah, you never know, man.
Actually,
Yeah,
I would
some good players
actually just a thought, right, guys? I mean, I don't know. I don't watch as much as Newcastle as you guys do, but I watched a few games this year. I don't think you guys have a specialist defensive midfielder currently, do you?
At the moment.
At the moment,
I mean, you play Jonjo Shelvey there. I've seen you play Longstaff, but they're not really proper defensive midfielders. You don't
Isaac
have a class
Hayden
defensive
is supposedly our defensive midfielder.
and
Isaac
he's not
Hayden.
really that great, lah.
He was being played out of position. He was being asked to play in defense.
defense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
okay,
maybe
okay.
that's a position you look at as well, because I mean, I remember Newcastle back then. Check Teote, qualities, defensive midfielder. Emre, not so much, but he was a good player as well. Emre, at that point in time, a bit of a playmaker. I think you may lack a player like that. So you don't have enough protective shield for your defense as well. Maybe you go for someone like N'Golo Kante. Oh my God.
We lack a player like Johan Cabaye.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Go on to
Exactly.
buy. Oh, wow. He was a brilliant player. Enjoy watching him play, man. Yeah.
He was quality, man. Thoughts on Adama Traore? Yeah, problem is end product may be a bit of an issue. But again, if you put the right players in front of him, I think that's the other thing as well, right, guys? I mean, you've got a squad now. You're saying there are a couple of players that are old. Emil Kraft, for example, not great for Newcastle. It depends. Sometimes you get a new manager in. He likes those players. He plays them more, puts the arm around their shoulder. Suddenly you get a revitalized squad and everyone's playing really well again. So it really depends. I'm going to throw another shout out there. Declan Rice could be on sale next year for £100 million, which is cheap change for you guys. Declan
I always
Rice.
thought he was going to go to MU, actually. I always thought he was going to go to MU.
Yeah, exactly. What
Why?
to do? Ole was like, Fred is better.
Let's stick with Fred. Okay, guys. Then in terms of, we've obviously identified the January window. We've spoken about the takeover a little bit. You guys want a new manager as well. Clearly, that's going to happen. What are the expectations now that the takeover has happened? Maybe end of season, give us the end of season expectation, where you expect to finish. What's bare minimum expectation? And then in 2 or 3 years' time. Now, let's not say 2 or 3 years time. Next season, once you've had a full summer transfer window, next season, where do you expect to finish? Maybe Gary, you go first this time.
Can, no problem. Well, as being Newcastle fan under Mike Ashley for the past 14 seasons, our expectations, right, has been very, very, like diluted, and we got very, very bad minimum expectations, yeah. So like last season we finished 12th. So for me, this season anything better than 12 is a success. So
Progress,
finishing top 10 is good enough for me. I'll be happy with a top 10 finish.
Yep.
Then the season after this, top 8. The season after that, top 6. Just build on every season. And I don't see us playing Champions League football, even Europa League football, at least for the next 3 to 5 seasons. I'm not even gonna say we're gonna play Europa League in 3 seasons. No, I think it's gonna
Conference
take
League
time.
possible. Conference League.
UEFA Conference League, maybe, yeah.
Possible. Be a good
again,
build up, I mean, yeah.
Just build year after year. And what another thing that we can actually see now that we have hope with our team is Newcastle United fighting for the FA Cup and the League Cup. I mean, we're already out of the League Cup this season.
Win the cup, man.
We've always been knocked out of the cup early for the last 14 seasons and so on. So at least just have a go in the cup competition, and that could be our ticket into Europe as well. Yeah.
Spot on, man. Spot on. What about you, John?
Yeah, I totally agree, and I think for this season, the most important thing now is to get ourselves out of the relegation zone. That has to be the first priority, and I hope that if we do bring in a manager, it needs to be fast, because he will need to get accustomed to the team, and get them motivated again, and we also maybe a manager that can also take the pressure off the team, because I feel that this current team is they just can't play under Steve Bruce, because they're so pressured. They every week, like the past few games were winnable games, and they just let it slip at the last moment. So yeah, for this season, I think the main priority, if we can just stay in the league, I'll be happy, and then we can talk about rebuilding, next season.
Yeah.
That's a very realistic expectation, and to be honest, that's the right way to think about it, because sometimes you get a multi-billionaire owner come in. Yeah, we want to win everything this year or by next year. That doesn't happen. I mean, a good example: Man City took quite a few years actually before they made the Champions League again. Classic
and
example.
They haven't won the Champions League yet.
Yeah, they've not won
so many years.
After spending that much. Another classic example is Everton. Everton's owners are actually very, very wealthy as well. I think they're backed by Usmanov as well, right? And Moshiri and all. But again, they've had challenges, right? You got manager turnovers. You don't get the players you want sometimes because they want to move to a club that's already in the Champions League. They have a short career after all, right? If you want a top player, he wants to play in the Champions League next year. He's not going to move to a club that's not, playing in the Champions League already. So I think the expectations, you got to manage them. Like, you got to build and then see where that takes you guys. Another very good shout, defensive midfielder. You can pick this guy up. I think he's really good. Wilfred Ndidi, by the way.
He's brilliant. He's one of those players that even I wanted, in United, to replace the so-called Brazilian, in that sense. But I do have a question for both of you, actually, in terms of this, because now Steve Bruce is actually out of the picture, and of course, the pressures of Mike Ashley that of course took place for the past 14 years is also out the window. Do you think the current squad, with this heavy sort of a pressure that has been taken off, do you think this could help the current players to suddenly let's just show what we can do to our new owners and possibly create a standpoint for themselves? Because I'm pretty sure if they think that they could last with Steve Bruce in as a manager, but now with possibly new managers coming, a lot of them will probably be offloaded. And do you foresee some of these players that could actually just go the other way and just suddenly boom, you see great football once again?
That's something what Ram said, right? It's the, not just the pressure element of it, it's the the weight off your shoulders. Not just that, you got the fans on your side now, isn't it?
Yeah.
You got a full stadium bustling full of positive
52,000 Jordis this weekend, fully sold out.
Fully positive, fully driven.
The feel-good factor,
the
the feel-good factor. Yeah.
I mean,
that's
watch
going to
out
be so
Spurs,
exciting
lah.
to
Watch
watch.
out Spurs, like Eugene. You
Watch out,
end up
Spurs.
end up getting a smacking this weekend, lah, my friend. Yeah,
Oh, they're playing Spurs playing with
I think you're playing
Newcastle.
Spurs
Is
this
it?
weekend, isn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah. They're playing
Yeah.
Spurs this weekend at St
Oh,
James's Park.
wow. This is going to be an exciting game. This is absolutely going to be cracking.
So you think that's going to make a big difference? I'm guessing, right, guys? The weight of expectations
Yeah.
off, etc.
And also don't forget all these players are now actually fighting in a way fighting
future.
for their future. So they might have something to play. You know, previously under Mike Ashley, we all knew he's not going to sign anyone. So why should I give 100? I mean, I'm not saying that the players don't give 100%, but your position was never in a threat, you know. So they just play for the sake of playing, and now I think they have something to play for, which might be a boost for the whole team.
Yeah, man. I think even like both me and Harry, although we don't support Newcastle, but we are also very excited. We can't wait to turn on the TV and watch the game and see the atmosphere of the stadium
In the
because
stadium, it's going to be pretty
absolutely,
awesome.
absolutely crazy. I think new chants will be, coming out because of the new takeover and so on and so forth. But however, when it comes to this takeover,
That's a good
I just
one, by the way, guys. Next
Yeah.
most used club in FIFA.
yeah.
Can
Probably,
see that
yes,
happening.
definitely
Can
see that
see that
happening as
happening.
well. Yeah, and I wanted to ask actually. I think Gary, I want to ask you this, right? I mean, of course, there's a lot of talks of the so-called haters, and all the other clubs are going against this whole idea of the takeover.
Yeah, I mean,
and
there's a lot of
some them are
controversy
not-
as well, right? Yeah.
There's a lot of controversy as well, as well. Do shed some light on this. What do you think about this? Because to be fair, there are a lot of clubs out there who were the richest clubs in the world, and now Newcastle is coming in and taking away that limelight. So,
Yeah.
what do you have to say about that? Do let us know. Do let the viewers know as well.
Yeah, I think there's this
I-
controversy about sports washing and
Yeah,
all as well,
yeah.
right? You guys have read
Yeah.
about it. So yeah, maybe
Yeah.
some insight into that, like, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, of course, we've all read about the whole, spot washing and the human rights issues in Saudi Arabia and all that.
yep.
Now,
Yep.
just to point out, like for example, like when the first Chelsea, when first Chelsea was taken over, right?
Mhm.
There was not a lot of how you say protests, or there wasn't really a big like hoo-ha about it as well. And then after that, Man City was taken over. Also,
Yep.
I mean, oil money and everything. So for me, if Chelsea and Man City were allowed to be taken over, then why not Newcastle? That's
Yep.
my opinion. Why
Yep.
it's only fair. And at the end of the day, it's only going to make the Premier League as a brand, it makes Premier League a stronger brand and a more
Yep.
competitive league, and they can only be better for the league. And like for example, issues of LGBT issues in Saudi Arabia and everything. Like when if you guys had listened to Amanda Staveley's speech the other day, right? She has clearly stated that Newcastle United is in support of the No Room for Racism movement, is in support of the rainbow laces
Yep.
and so on. Yeah, so
Yep.
it's basically affirming that Newcastle United is not as a club, we're not against any of these things. So that's a very, very good statement by Amanda Staveley. I just feel like all this while we've had the glory era of the 70s, Liverpool dominating, right? Liverpool, and then you had Manchester United coming in, and then you had Chelsea for a while, and then you had Man City. So now when Newcastle is finally taken over and everything, so maybe a lot of people are unhappy. I think it's only natural. It's only natural
Yep.
to be jealous. To be honest, guys, remember I said I wanted to share some statistics earlier, right?
Yeah.
So
Go ahead.
These are the statistics, yeah. So before the takeover, right? Before the takeover on Thursday night, in our Toon Army Malaysia, which is our official Newcastle supporters club in Malaysia's Facebook group, yeah, Toon Army Malaysia, Newcastle United FC supporters official fan club, we've had 920 fans. 920 fans. So these 920 fans, we have been around way long time ago, yeah, since like 2002. I'm not sure if you guys remember. Back in 2002, I think 2002, I was in Form 4 in school, yeah.
Okay.
And 2002, back then in the Star newspaper at the sports pages, you used to see all the supporters clubs, right?
Yep.
You had Manchester United, Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea. Newcastle had always been there. Newcastle was there as well. And they used to meet up very regularly at Modesto's in Sri Hatamas, I think. That was one of the first few pots back then.
Okay. Yep.
So since then until now, some of the members from there, some of the founding members, some of the committee members, presidents, and everything, we have been around. So after the takeover, we've had a total of 614 membership requests to join our group. Yeah,
Wow.
614 requests to join our group. So this is post the takeover. We have approved about 130. Okay, we've approved 130, and we had to decline close to 400 requests. And of course,
Ask them to
this will
come in.
now-
Ask them to come in January lah. Once the window open.
Yeah. And the funny thing is, a lot of these people who are trying to join our club, when we check their profiles, they are wearing jerseys of other teams. They have cover pictures of other teams.
Yep.
So we are like,
Okay.
why are you trying to join us? You clearly, you're not supporting us. You support other teams, right? So why? So that's why,
Yeah.
we're very, very strict
It's
on
this,
that. So guys,
this I gotta be honest. This is a problem, right? You get glory hunters and all after that. To be
Yeah,
honest, that's not the. I mean, I'm not for that. Like, you get that situation. A lot of clubs. I'm not for that. Like,
Yeah.
the one thing I do hope. I mean, I'm like I said, very happy for Newcastle fans.
Yeah,
One thing I do
very
hope is I
happy.
hope the owners keep their word, because when I say keep their word, what I mean by that is, I think as you guys as fans, I don't know what you guys would like to see, but I think everyone's different. But sometimes with a mega rich club, Man City is a good example. Only recently they've brought, I think, Foden through. But apart from that, you buy the superstars and you sell players. You sell your academy players. You buy superstars. You don't give academy a chance. You don't give the young boys a chance. And that, I'm not for that personally. I like a club that brings through the youth players as well from the area, from the region. And then at the same time, you're buying one or two to really real quality to add. But you're also giving chance to develop your young talent, right? Which is why I like the Liverpool approach. I got to be honest. I mean, obviously without Klopp, we won't be anywhere. But Klopp has helped elevate that. But I like the approach because we're giving youth the chance. Plus, and then we add some gloss, some star quality around it. You see. So I think that's the only thing. You just hope they stick to their words, because I think that's what you guys want as well, isn't it? At the end
exactly.
Of the day.
Sorry, just want to add a bit. I actually hope that we do not become the next Chelsea and Man City, and I rather us winning a trophy or the league like Leicester did, like how Leicester did.
Yeah.
You know, not through like Man City or Chelsea style, but Leicester style. That's how I would like us to win something.
And that's not going to happen now, Dola. That's not going to happen now.
But I totally have to agree with Gary. I think the Leicester model is something that all of us have to look at. They're just brilliant. I mean, their owners are rich, but they're not super rich. They got in the right management. They got in the right players, and they won the league, and they won the FA Cup last season. So
I think
so.
very good.
That's
point,
not going to
Jonathan,
happen now. You
because-
got to accept. Like, that's never going to happen to you guys now,
but
because
you see,
you guys are
John-
just going to buy the superstars now with the money you have.
probably yes, But I think like what Jonathan said, I think you're absolutely right, because when you look at the owner of Leicester coming down the field, celebrating together with the players, it creates that kind of atmosphere that I think all football clubs need. I mean, you're not going to see a Glazer, walking down, if United were to win a trophy, that's never going to happen. But I think, if Mohammed Salman, I think that's the new owner's name, right? Mohammed Salman, if he were to actually, come down and celebrate with the players, and if he keeps that good relationship with the whole club, I think, it's going to be a great story, I think, and I think it's going to be a great model for a lot of those Premier League clubs to actually follow. And I think Newcastle has a chance to go on a clean slate. Yeah, money should be used for the youth system. Should be on a clean
Good
slate.
point, Kishore. Yeah, exactly.
Create something that other clubs can follow, and I think it'd be a great story to tell as well. It's so exciting, man. My goodness.
Very exciting, guys. I hope, like I said, I wish you guys absolute all the best, man. I mean, again, I'm not going to blow out Liverpool trumpets, but I think Liverpool have done it in that way. They don't have excess cash that City have. The owners are not super rich, but what they have done is they've brought in talent that is like Salah, Mane, who were not there yet, but on the brink of going there, got them there. So I think that's where you realize, smart buying, and then developing youth talent like Harvey Elliott, Curtis Jones to supplement that, Trent Alexander-Arnold to supplement that as well. And that's the way to go. And then they've invested in the stadium, rebuilding the stadium, and they invested in a new training ground. So I think that's what you guys want to see, right?
It's the right balance. It's the right kind of balance.
Yeah. Guys, I got to ask you this weird question, if you don't mind. Now it's called St. James's Park, right? And it was called the Sports Direct Arena at some point, I believe. What do you think the new stadium would be called? What do you think of the new name?
Aramco.
Like
I don't think they
Aramco?
will change the stadium's name.
No, right?
You'll
The
be
last time that
surprised,
happened-
man. You'll be surprised what happened with
The
the
last
Man
time
City Stadium.
when that happened, a lot of fans were very unhappy.
Yeah,
so
the Newcastle fans will leave it with. I mean, for Mike Ashley to actually go back after changing the stadium name, just says how angry the fans were at that decision. Yeah. I think St James's Park has to remain. I don't know, Gary. What do you think?
I would never change the name. I mean, I would
Yeah.
tell the new owners, please do not, mess with the
Yeah.
name. It's different if you were to build a new stadium and then call it
yeah.
Aramco
Yeah.
Stadium. That's fine.
Yeah.
But
Okay, that's
the
fine.
existing stadium as it is, you should not rename it. And talking about stadium, guys, sorry. Last season, right, Mike Ashley, because of our attendance, there was the numbers of our attendances were going down, right? We were, at one point, Mike Ashley gave out 10,000 free tickets. Yeah, 10,000 free tickets. This was last season, so that was how desperate he was to fill up the stadium. And now we just heard from what Jonathan said. This coming weekend, Newcastle against Spurs is a full house, right? And I think St James Park has not been packed for a very long time. So I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah, it should be awesome. Guys, before we let you off, man, we had a great chat about Newcastle, but I want to dig in. This is a bit for fun, something we just came up with, to be honest, right now. But I'm going to get.
I think I know what Harry's going to ask, but yeah, go ahead.
John, let's start with you. I want to know your top three all-time best Newcastle players, your top three all-time favorite Newcastle players, and then I'll ask you a second question after that. But the top three all-time favorite Newcastle players.
Okay, first Alan Shearer. I mean, that's given.
That's why I didn't ask you for one. That's why I asked you for three.
my second favorite player, you know what? I would say is Gary Speed. A lot of people didn't realize
tragic, obviously,
the kind of player that Gary Speed was. Yeah, he was a fantastic player, and he really took care of himself. Yeah, that's why he played until 38 or 39.
Yeah. I think one of the players with the top number of Premier League appearances, right, amongst the top few.
Yeah. And my third player, it would have been Hatem Ben Afra if he had managed to stay longer and keep that because he was a brilliant player. But my number 3 is Laurent Robert. I really love Laurent Robert. His left foot was just out of this world.
Awesome. What about you, Gary?
Yeah, number 1, of course, Alan Shearer. I think that's one of the reasons why I fell in love with Newcastle United. Alan Shearer, first and foremost. Secondly, I would go for Rob Lee. Rob Lee is one of the most hardworking midfielders back in the day. And I was lucky enough when Rob Lee was in KL, when Astro brought Rob Lee over. We were lucky enough to meet him at Times Square. So I'll say Rob Lee, my number 2.
Yeah.
And then my third favorite all-time player, I would say Shea Given, our former goalkeeper. And he was one of the best buys by Man City because Man City needed a good goalkeeper, and they bought probably the best goalkeeper in the Premier League at that time, Shea Given, from us, and then they won the league after that. So those are my top 3 players.
No, I'm surprised none of you went for David Ginola, man. One of my favorite all-time players in the Premier League. I love that guy.
Newcastle legend, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Oh, I loved him. Absolutely loved him.
Newcastle.
Yeah, he was exceptional for both teams, actually. But for Spurs, he had a good stint as well. And then one from each of y'all, your cult hero. One cult hero from Newcastle.
If you ask me, because I lived through Alan Shearer's time, he is my hero. So there can't be any other. I know Keegan is a cult hero in Newcastle, but he was just before my time. So for me, it's Shearer. It has to be Shearer.
What about you, Gary?
Same with me as well, because I'm 35 this year. So for my generation, I think our generation as well, Alan Shearer is definitely our cult hero.
I'm surprised none of you went with Faustino Asprilla, man. Oh,
so waiting for our time.
I do have interesting questions just before we end the show, right? So I'm a United fan, okay? So I want to ask both of you all this question. If you could choose 3 players from United, who would it be to be in your team? Go with Gary first.
I'll go first. Sorry, Jonathan, go ahead.
No. I just want to clarify the current United team, right?
Yeah, the current United team. Yeah.
Okay.
Take Fred,
Okay,
please.
go ahead, Gary.
Okay, sorry. By the way, just to say this on air, in my family, right, my two younger brothers, Kevin and Matthew, are Man United fans, and
Okay.
I'm a Newcastle fan, obviously, and our dad, is a Liverpool fan. Yeah, so you can imagine in the house, Liverpool, we got MU, we got Newcastle, and my mom will just support whoever is winning on the day.
Yeah.
So yeah, for MU, 3 players, I would take Jesse Lingard. I think realistically, we should take Jesse Lingard, and I think Phil Jones, besides all his injury records and all, and I think he just got back from his injury and operation and all that. Phil Jones, I always thought Phil Jones was a good player, was a good defender. And comparing Phil Jones with our current defenders, I think Phil Jones could do a better job than our current defenders. So I'll take Phil Jones. And the last one player from MU, I can't think of anyone else right now. Jonathan, maybe you want to go first?
They're all rubbish, bro. There's no one else to take from there. Don't worry.
Hey, Liverpool fan, shut it.
I think we're not going to take Henderson. We don't need Henderson, sorry. We don't need Henderson because we're pretty stocked up in our goalkeeping department, right? We have Dubravka, we have Carl Darlow, and we even have Freddie Woodman, who played for England under 21.
I will take Mason Greenwood. I think
Greenwood,
he's up and coming future striker that even Alex Ferguson says that he is one of the best young players that he has seen. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I think he's one of the top young players in the league. What about Liverpool? Just one, not three. If we had to take one player from Liverpool, who would it be?
For me, it's Trent Alexander-Arnold. I love him. Yeah, that's my choice.
Playmaker. He's in my fantasy football league, babe. Yeah.
I wouldn't take Salah because I think he's a Liverpool legend.
Yeah.
He should just be in Liverpool. I probably go with what Jonathan said as well. Trent Alexander-Arnold, probably one of the best right backs in the Premier League.
Yep.
Interesting.
Guys, listen, it's been an absolute pleasure having you guys on the show, man. Really awesome talking Newcastle and what's in store. Like I said, very happy for you guys. Long may it continue.
Very happy. Super happy lah.
Yeah, hopefully you just finish second every year behind Liverpool. I know that's about it. Apart from that, really happy for you guys.
It's okay lah. I let the Liverpool fan have his moments of. I'm happy that United is not in that list. It's fine, no pressure. But we will surprise. Of course, the league. You can of course of course win the league. I do see Newcastle win the league. In a few years down the road, and I think that if they do start winning the league, I think they could be a force to be reckoned with, a team to beat. And I think they could really do wonders. And of course, like what Hari said earlier, we are hoping for the owners to keep their word, and of course play some exciting football, don't lose the essence of the game, and of course we can all enjoy the game of football as well. So before we leave, Gary and John, do share with our viewers, any messages you want to send to all the Newcastle fans out there since this takeover. Go ahead, the floor is yours.
Okay, first and foremost, I know there are a lot of Newcastle fans. Some have been hiding under their shells for many years, and now coming out and saying, "I'm a Newcastle fan since I was a kid." Okay, fine, doesn't matter. We would like to welcome you to our official Toon Army Malaysia Facebook group. Yeah, it's Toon Army Malaysia on Facebook. We also have our official Toon Army Malaysia Facebook page, and also we are on Twitter and Instagram as well. Twitter Toon Army NY, and also on Instagram Toon_Army_Malaysia. So these are our only 4 official Toon Army and Newcastle Supporters Club here in Malaysia's social media. So the rest, whatever you see that is Newcastle and Malaysia, please report the page and don't like it, because all the lalang, they just popped up from the shoe 2 days ago. So
like they say, kayu.
Exactly. Yeah, and also, sorry, one last thing. I remember back then, Newcastle, we were the entertainers and we were everyone's second team. So I just hope that we can become that again. We can be the entertainers again and be everyone's second team once again. That's it.
All right, awesome. Thank you very, very much, Gary. Jonathan, anything you want to say to your fellow Magpies?
Just to further what Gary said, I think look out, do join our groups, and look out for gatherings that are within your areas, because I believe that there are fans in Sabah and Sarawak as well, in Penang, and you probably would want to have match viewing over in those areas. And I think you can, through the group, you can find all the Newcastle fans are all going to be connected now. Finally,
I'm in Sabah, by the way. I'm in Sabah,
okay.
by the way.
All right, all
Oh,
right.
okay,
That's
okay.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic. And
So yeah, we are all just over the moon lah. And yeah, away the lads.
guys,
only
we're not
the
going to let
lads,
you
they
off.
say.
Before we sign off, we're not going to let you off without a chant. lah. There must be one
Yeah,
chant
yeah.
that you guys sing. lah. Yeah, Newcastle chant. Both of you sing in unison. lah.
Ayo.
Yeah,
Hey,
let's
bro.
do it, man.
I already having my sore throat and all this cough and all. So he's saying
Yes, a
It's
little
okay.
bit. lah. One or
You
two
can
lines
have
enough.
some honey after this, bro. No
Yeah,
problem.
John, what are we going to sing, John?
You know Jolly Good Boys?
How's that, huh?
We are the Jolly Good Boys. But
Okay.
I can't really remember the. Never mind. We just try lah.
Oh, yeah, okay, we can do that.
Okay,
Okay.
one,
I follow, yeah.
1, 2,
3.
3. We are the Jolly.
Sorry, bro. Okay, bro.
Yeah, it's a bit-
Something easier. We just do the usual Toon, Black and White Army. Toon,
Okay,
Black and White
alright,
Army.
alright.
Do that
Cool.
3 times.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
2, 3.
Toon,
Toon.
Black and White
Black
Army.
and white. Toon.
Toon, Black and White Army. Toon,
Yeah.
Black and White Army.
Black and White
Alright,
Army.
can lah. Sorry,
Yeah.
our channel
Yeah.
is kurang sikit
Brilliant,
lah.
absolutely brilliant.
Aiyo.
Guys,
Howay the lads.
Away the
Howay
lad.
the lads.
Howay
Howay
the
the
lads.
lads. Yes, absolutely.
Away, guys.
Guys,
Alright, Ram, over to you, man.
Gary and John, thank you so much for being on the show. We
Thank
really,
you for
really
having us.
Thanks for
appreciate
having
you.
us.
Oh,
Pleasure.
more than happy, definitely. And you know what? This won't be the last time. I can promise you that. We want to do more preview games in the future. Hopefully, a watch along if that can be done. We would like to invite you back over and, of course, talk more about Newcastle. Enjoy more time, of course, with Newcastle winning more games. But of course, I just want to say this, guys, to all Newcastle fans who are watching this, and of course, to be Newcastle fans, of course, in a new era, we will be actually putting all the social media handles on the description. So it's easy access for all of you to actually click on it and, of course, give them your support as well. And, of course, we want to help Toon Army Malaysia to grow. And, of course, it's going to be amazing to see Newcastle fighting for the Premier League in the next seasons to come. So well done, guys. Thank you so much for your insights. Really, really appreciate it. And, of course, we hope to see you soon as well. So, guys, join me, all right? So signing off from the plot Malaysia. This is the show for the fans.
By the fans.
By the
Guys,
fans.
just one more thing I'm going to say,
Fans.
man. Since we're talking about money today, we have to say, Liverpool people are saying they don't have money. They only made one signing in the summer. So they've come up with a new chant on Liverpool fans. I sing it at the end of every show now.
Every time we chant before.
It's just going to contradict. It's just going to contradict your takeover, lah. But the chant goes: "The Reds have got no money, but we'll still win the league. The Reds have got no money, but we'll still win the league."
All right, guys.
Okay, I'm going to sign
Bye.
off again because Hari interrupted my sign off. Cannot. I must do again. Okay. So
Okay.
signing off from the plot Malaysia. This is the show for the fans.
For the fans.
By the
By the
fans.
fans.
By the fans.
Cheers.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers, guys.
See you guys.
All right.